Happy Friday, Vendasta, and welcome to All Hands for May 22nd. Please make some noise for your host today, Ken Neese.
Thanks, everybody. Looking forward to hosting it today. All right. So shall I go ahead and start with the presentation here? All right, here we go. So yes, hi everybody, Ken Neese, VP of Revenue Operations and Customer Delivery. I'll be your host today. And let's see, our agenda today, the usual, talking through some anniversaries, some kudos, some customer love, and then presentations from Marianne and from myself. And I understand we have a last minute bonus here, a demo from Jesse. So looking forward to see what that is. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, anniversaries. So 1 year anniversary for Jatine and Saman. So congratulations on 1 year. Glad you've stuck with us. 2 year anniversary for Mohammed. Thanks, Mohammed. 3 year anniversaries, 3 with 3. Claudia, Azarul, and Kevin. Been here for 3 years. Great. And then a 9 year anniversary from Connor. Great job, Connor. And next up, some kudos. So as you know, kudos is given for our 4 leadership areas. And this from Kendall Johns, a huge kudos to Zane, our corporate marketing intern, who has been absolutely exceptional this term. What stands out most is her ownership. Give her a concept and she runs with it, executing it beautifully with minimal direction. She navigates ambiguity and complexity with a confidence and grace that would impress anyone, let alone someone so early in their career. For someone new to the industry, she brings a level of initiative and polish that is genuinely rare. She's been an incredible support, and watching her thrive has been one of the highlights of this season. Zane, you are going to shine so brightly in whatever comes next. We're so lucky to have you, and we're definitely going to miss you when you head back to school in the fall. So kudos to Zane. Some customer love. Jay-Z is going to present this. So Jay-Z, I'll hand it off to you.
I actually believe that Anise had a customer love to share before we got to this. Is that correct?
I don't know.
All right, that was my understanding. Also, we're supposed to have Clint on, but he's not up. He's joining through Vimeo, and my guess is he's trying to get in through there. So, unless Shane can see something on his side, we may need to
postpone this till later.
Yeah.
Customer love is gonna, like, the one what you're talking about was getting skipped, but we can go on with your section, and I have Clint on the other side here too.
Okay. We will do that.
On you, Jay-Z.
Sorry, what was that?
If you want to do the intro for Clint, we should be good to go.
Are you doing the intro for Clint, Jay-Z?
I just want to make sure that Clint is he present? Yeah, I don't have any visibility.
He's here, yeah, we're good.
We're good?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, thank you. Yes, so sorry for the confusion there, but very special guest. You might know that a couple months ago, we launched our Vendasta AI Certified Partner Program, and the Excite Group is one of the very first partners to become certified. And we know that, yeah, lots of people at Vendasta get to work with our partners, but not everyone gets that face-to-face with them, and thought it'd be great to bring our certified partners on to meet you all and tell you a bit about themselves. So Clint was our brave pioneer here. He's going to be first to go, and I'm excited for everyone who hasn't yet met Clint to meet him and hear all about Excite.
Thank you. First, thanks for having me here today. I really appreciate the opportunity, and everyone at Excite, we're honored to be part of the first group of Vendasta AI certified partners. For those of you that I have not met, my name is Clint Rudolph, and I'm one of the founders of the Excite Group. We're a digital marketing agency based in Colorado, and we've been helping small and medium-sized businesses with websites, pay-per-click, advertising for 15 years or so. It's interesting, actually. We signed our channel partner agreement with Vendasta on September 1st of 2011. So we've been around Vendasta for about 15 years. And what's interesting, over the last year, AI has become obviously one of the biggest opportunities we've seen, not just for our agency, but for our clients. So I guess I'd start with saying what's been so exciting about the Vendasta ecosystem is that it goes way beyond a chat widget. Much like Brendan and all of you there, using the word chatbot at Excite is almost a fireable offense. And so it's for the businesses that we work with, AI is becoming, and the whole Vendasta ecosystem is becoming part of how they actually operate. A lot of our clients are overwhelmed. They're trying to answer calls, respond to leads, manage staff, follow up with customers, and still find time to run their business. What they don't need is another tool that they need to log in and babysit. They need something that helps them move faster, capture more information, and reduce the things that fall through the cracks. That's where this partnership has been a great fit for us. Honestly, for many of the, probably 13 of our 15 years together, Vendasta was a commodity for us, right? We did StepRep, RepMan, all of those things. And that was sort of the crux of our relationship. And after PAC a couple of years ago, we started leaning heavily into the AI system, utilizing things like Fast Track, and then eventually becoming a certified partner. And so for us, we're using the AI ecosystem to help clients capture and qualify leads, answer common questions, support after-hours inquiries, summarize conversations, and really give our clients, the owners, better visibility into what's actually happening in their business. And I would say from our perspective as an agency, that changes the conversation. We're no longer just helping clients generate leads and build websites. We're helping them handle the lead after it comes in. And that's a much deeper and more valuable relationship. One thing that we learned very quickly is that the agency layer really matters here. You can't just turn on AI and expect it to represent a business well. It has to understand the brand, the customer journey, the services, the handoff process, the guardrails. And we've been building and configuring AI assistants for our clients across multiple verticals: home services, veterinary care, outdoor recreation, hair salons, professional services. And every one of those businesses has a different need. They use different language and different customer expectations. That's where the combination of Vendasta's technology and agency strategy, I think, becomes really powerful. Being selected as one of the first AI certified partners for Vendasta means a lot to us, because it feels like we're actually getting to help shape what the next phase looks like for SMBs. There's a lot of hype and confusion around AI. There's a lot of excitement, apprehension, but there's also a very real need. Small and medium-sized businesses need partners and technology that can make AI practical, can make it approachable and useful in their day-to-day operations. That's what we're most excited about. We're excited to keep learning, to keep building, and to keep helping clients use AI in ways that actually saves them time, improves follow-up, and creates better customer experiences for their clients. And honestly, I'm excited because this feels like one of those moments where agencies can either sit back or they can step forward to help define what comes next. For Excite, we want to step in. So again, thanks for including Excite in this first group. We're proud to be part of it. We're honored, and we're excited to keep growing with Vendasta.
Thanks, Clint. As always, very well spoken. And I think Ken, back to you. But Vendasta as a whole, you can look forward to meeting some more certified partners in the coming weeks as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to be up there in a couple weeks.
Absolutely.
Great. Thanks so much, Clint. That was awesome. Yeah, and speaking of upcoming events, you see what Clint was just speaking about there, June 1 to 4th, S-Team Onsite and Partner Advisory Council. So any of you that are called on to help out with that, please do. It's a big event every year for us, and I'll be there too. So those of you who I haven't met, hopefully I'll get to be able to meet a few more of you. Otherwise, on Monday is Memorial Day, which is a holiday in the U.S. Hobby Hour there in Saskatoon. Don't miss that. And then June 19th is Juneteenth, another holiday in the U.S. All right, and now I'll hand it off again. AI Build Weekly Winner, the AIBBWW. I'll hand it over to Miriam for that.
Thank you. All right. So this week's winner. Oh, before that, actually, let's take a look at this very cute gumball. And the credit goes to George, because she came up to me and she said, hey, look, what do you think about showing everybody's faces, everybody who has contributed to the billboard faces on the homepage? And I thought that was a great idea, but she, apart from the idea, she came up with a fully functional prototype. And so I really like the idea, and I put it there so you can see everybody's faces right now. The ones without any profile pictures are the contributors. So if you submit a build, then your Google profile page will get stored on the app and it will show. But yeah, if you are a submitter, you have your profile picture, but if you don't submit directly and you are a contributor, you have your initials shown. So thank you very much, George. And now the winner. Somebody pulled it out of their fortune cookie, and that was Shane. So congratulations. Shane has, well, why do we have 6 here? 5 or 6 builds on the billboard. Demand generation tracker by Vertical, automated automation cleanup, automated channel PLG reporting, and he has made 3 AI employees: Point Guard, The Hamsteer, and Enrichy Rich. If you've got any AI employees, please submit them. We would like to see them, and we would like to have them on the billboard in case anybody wants to use them. Yeah, and that was it from me.
All right. Congratulations, Shane. Thanks so much. All right, so now we'll talk about revenue operations and customer delivery. So before I get started, for those of you who I haven't met, I can't wait to meet you. I'm located in Indianapolis, which is right in the middle of the U.S. Eastern Time Zone. We have a little gathering going on this weekend, an intimate gathering of 300,000 people for the Indy 500. I'll be there, and we'll be enjoying that. And besides racing, I also like to geek out on RevOps and customer delivery. So let's talk about what's been going on and what we do. So revenue operations can be a mystery sometimes in terms of what we do, but it's all about maximizing sales efficiency, and we do that through AI, through data, and strategic process architecture. So a lot of buzzwords there. Let's talk about the core pillars of RevOps. So these 2 pillars are really the center of everything that we try to do, right? So efficiency on one side, making sure we're automating as much of the manual toil that's happening with our sales teams and everybody who supports our customers. And then breaking down silos. So really serving as that connective tissue between sales, marketing, and our tools, and just constantly optimizing our revenue engine to make it as efficient as possible. So those are the pillars. What is it we actually do in RevOps? So again, aligning marketing, sales, and customer success drive growth. And each one of these buckets, there's a lot behind them. I'll talk a little bit to each one. So strategy and planning in terms of the products that we sell, how we're going to go to market. Is that going to be through sales reps? Is it going to be through a PLG motion? What's most efficient there? And if we're changing tactics, making sure that we put a plan in place so that any kind of transition from one motion to another is smooth and seamless as possible. Systems and infrastructure. So most of us are working within the CRM most of the day. And so we want to make sure that those systems are optimized to be as efficient as possible for our sales team. And then infrastructure in terms of, setting up, whether it's documentation or clear processes or whatever the case may be, to help support the sales team and the revenue generating teams. Process optimization is a really big one, and one that we'll be highlighting here today. So that's making, first understanding what are the processes that our sales team and even our customers are going through in order to go from quote to cash, and then breaking each one of those down, optimizing it, making it go as smoothly as possible. Next up is an enablement portion, right? So after we've have the systems in place and optimize the process, let's make sure we document that so that people can then see what the process is and learn from it as they get onboarded as new employees, or as we transition to a new tool or a new process. People understand how to use it and how to walk through that process. And then finally, analytics, right? So with all of these, we have to understand what's working, what isn't working. If it's working, dive into it, understand what's going on so that we can optimize, use that same optimization elsewhere. Or if it's not working, understand what's going wrong and why, so that we can address that and hopefully solve it. So that's RevOps in a nutshell. The other half of the team is the customer delivery team. So this is probably a relatively new term to a lot of Vendastians. So this is solution engineering, right, or a solution architecture team. So this is the team under Sean, and this is really guiding customers to technology solutions and doing that from the beginning, the initial discovery, all the way through value realization. So the pillars here, broken this down into the pre-sales part and then the post-sales part. So pre-sales is more about sales engineering. So there we really need to make sure we have the technical expertise, understand the product really, really well, be able to demonstrate that product really, really well, both the core features as well as any kind of customization that the customer is looking for. Being that customer advocate, making sure we understand what it is that the customer is asking for, what it is that they need, and what's going to actually deliver them value, and being aligned with sales on making sure that we're delivering the right value to that customer. So it's really unifying those complex customer needs with the technology to maximize not just the customer's value, but also revenue to the business, so that we get as many sales as possible. Then after the sale happens, transition over to the post-sales side, and there it's all about the technical implementation, right? So whatever solution was built over on the pre-sale side, how are we going to implement that? Planning for that change, especially if it's something new that we're offering in terms of a custom solution. There's change management, not just on the customer side, but also internally to make sure that we're set up to support that afterwards, and making sure that we actually get the customer to that value realization. They have a vision from the pre-sales, now delivering on that vision and making sure that the customer actually realizes the value after we've sold. Right. And then what it is that the customer delivery team actually does. So I've spoken to a little bit of this on the pre-sale side, doing that discovery, doing that solution design, making sure there's technical presentations, right? So a lot of times we're talking to, when we're talking about the enterprise customers, especially, we're talking to their technical team, and really being able to demonstrate effectively. Overcoming technical objections here. This is important because even though you may demo and the customer says, "Oh, that isn't exactly what I wanted," being able to overcome those and say, "Okay, maybe it's not the way that you were envisioning it, but it's still giving the outcome, it's still giving the value that you're looking for." sales support and content creation, a lot of questions about, can our product do this? Can it do that? Can we integrate with this? Customer delivery team answers those and then provides documentation to support that. Giving that post-sale handoff to the implementation team. And also a key point here is product feedback, right? So this is the team that's really in the weeds with our enterprise customers, understanding where our product needs further development, what it is that's really resonating with customers, and bringing that product feedback to our R&D team to help them prioritize the product roadmap. And then post-sales, it's all about implementing that solution, right? So, all right, we built something conceptually over in the pre-sales side. Now we actually have to build it. We have to configure that solution. There's a lot of project management here, right? Both internally and with the customer, making sure everybody's getting everything done on time so that the customer is happy. And then actually doing those technical integrations, building out, doing that coding, and making sure everything is plugged in well. All right, so let's talk about some highlights here on the customer delivery side. So enterprise customers and recent wins. So this is really a big list, and there's a lot more we could put on this list for recently. But there's kind of three categories here. So in terms of our enterprise customers, Sean and his team are working every single day to deliver solutions to customers like Neighborly. This conversations intelligence ROI reporting that was just launched this week, huge win. It gives their leadership visibility into AI and automation performance. Italia Online, hopefully you've all heard about this new setup, localizing the UI, over 40,000 lines of translated text, building the integrations that Italia Online needed. Daysmart doing the SSO, and again, integration builds. Telcom, Voice AI now speaks Afrikaans, plus other languages for more partners, Italian, Dutch, French. So in terms of those enterprise customers, a lot of those custom solutions that are built, but then there's also a lot of internal applications that are really, really useful. So the Vector AI assistant that our AMs and CSMs are using on a daily basis to manage all of their customers. Broadly, we just had that big migration from Broadly 1.0 to 2.0. Very involved in that billing migration. gRPC release process assistance, one-click demo environments for our sales. So being able to set up a demo environment in just a click. Chatbot CRM, record builder, loyalty signups handled by an AI voice agent, and then other solutions that are usable by not just one customer but others, and you see those examples here. So lots of wins, lots of great work being done by this team. And next time when I'm up, I'll talk about some of the changes that we're trying to make, because even with all this work, sometimes we're not getting stuff out as quickly as customers would like, or in the exact format that the customers would like. And so we're working behind the scenes to make sure that we improve that process and get our enterprise customers to value more quickly. And so more to come on that. All right, let's talk about RevOps and AI SDRs. So hopefully you all have heard the live calls of our AI talking to end customers. That's really, really cool stuff. I'm going to talk about what it does, what it doesn't do, a little bit behind the scenes on the build, and a status update here. So AI SDRs, where are we right now? So it is live across both direct and channel now. And we have 4. So we've grouped them into Sandra and Aurora on the Vendasta side, and Sammy and Mia on the Broadly side. And Praveen and Kobe, they're the magicians behind the curtain, and they are doing a lot of the configuration to actually make these things work and work well. So this is what our AI SDR workforce looks like, and kind of the process. So everything that our SDRs are trying to do is getting a booked demo with an AE, where the customer actually meets with an AE to progress the sales process and eventually make a sale. So across the top is the Vendasta motion, which is where most of our leads are coming in right now for the SDRs. So you have Sandra, who's the voice on the voice side, and Sandra can actually hand off over to Sammy over in the Broadly side, which is pretty cool. So if Sandra realizes that this is actually an SMB, not a partner, going to hand that off in a live call over to Sammy. And then there's also a handoff over into our web chat AI SDR, Aurora. And so everybody's working together here to make sure that that we get the result of as many book demos as possible. And then you see a very similar flow down there on the Broadly side. So Sammy and Sammy's twin sister without a headset, Mia, and so everybody's working together to get as many demos as possible. All right, so what our AI SDRs do? So 100% inbound coverage. Everything routes automatically to Sandra for the channel calls. On the direct side, we're testing with 10% of inbound leads, making sure that we're fine-tuning things before we scale that to 100%. And what happens here is 2 AI voice calls per lead via Kixi before there's a handoff, if a handoff needs to happen, to human SDRs. Second thing that's happening is there's multi-touch via SMS plus voice. Right, and so there's parallel SMSs, right? So it's a lot more effective if you have a call and then there's an SMS to either as a reminder or as clarity as to what this message is that you're getting. And there's all different kind of logic in there based on what's happened, how long the calls last, et cetera. Also, ICP scored AE routing. So this is our ideal customer profile, the ICP. We do want to focus on our most high value prospects. And so those are going to get filtered and qualified based on ideal customer score, not just on the channel side in terms of partners, but also in terms of the SMBs, right? There are certainly SMBs that are more high value than others. So we want to make sure that our AEs are spending their valuable time working with customers that we want to sell to and who will be successful. And then this hot transfer thing that I mentioned earlier, right? So asking some targeted questions through voice AI and then mid-call saying, hey, you know, it looks like you're probably best suited for our Broadly product. Let me transfer you over to that SDR. So that's really cool to be able to handle that real time. All right, so what's live today? It's been going for 9 weeks of live outbound calling, 100% of the leads in SMS and voice. And we do have some reporting and notifications in place. Being as analytics driven as we are, we never have enough, right? But we do have some pretty good stuff. You know, calls connected, demos booked, what's closing after those demos, and live alerts. So want to acknowledge what our AI voice agents don't do, at least not yet. So AI calling time restriction. So this is interesting. You know, when you ask the AI to book as many demos as possible, you know, wants to go after that as much as possible. What we're having, what we initially had was some weird interactions where, you know, maybe someone puts in a lead at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Well, the AI is going to keep calling even if it's 3 a.m., right? So that is not a good customer experience. So that's why we have that 2-call limit on there until we can figure out how to make sure that those follow-up calls are only happening during office hours and at reasonable times for the customer. So that's one thing we can't do yet. The other is intent-aware call scheduling, which is kind of the little brother of the first one, right? So in terms of, hey, thanks for calling me. I can't talk right now. Can you give me a call back in an hour, right? That kind of like, okay, as the AI, I can't quite get to the point where I'm going to call up an hour later or 6 hours later or whatever the case may be. And so there's testing in progress for API calls and really finalizing that logic, but hopefully we'll be able to get that live soon. As I mentioned, it can be tricky to perfectly distinguish partners versus the SMBs. So this is refining those interview questions and making sure we understand where people are dropping out. Maybe they're dropping out at too high a rate, or maybe we're including too many people. And so getting to that exact ideal customer profile can be tricky. And that's one thing that we're constantly working towards. And then this long-term follow-ups and nurturing, right? So a lot of this timing kind of stuff, right? So if we're limiting it to 2 calls and the SMSs, then you know, if that customer, I mean, I've found from other experience, it may take 20 calls to really get that person on the phone, right? And so without the call time limitations, we don't have that long-term follow-up, that long tail in order to get those customers who may be a little more difficult due to scheduling or whatever reason to get on the phone. And so we certainly want to progress towards that as well. All right, so that's what they do and they don't do in terms of our chat agents now. What they don't do is we don't have a clear understanding yet of chat versus SMS and that reporting. It's kind of all in that conversations space. And so understanding, okay, which one of these are chats from the web versus SMSs that are follow-ups from the voice, and distinguishing all that, that's not entirely clear. We can pull it out manually, but that takes a long time. And so hopefully those Looker reports will be up soon. This channel to direct SMB transfer right from our Vendasta web chat AI SDR over to our Broadly web chat SDR. Few manual steps in there, so some work to be done to refine those and make that less manual. This 24/7 autonomous handling. So for those, again, this is all about that making sure that we're qualifying folks correctly. That SMB qualification. We have some edge cases that even when people are typing stuff out, may be a little bit more difficult, and so that needs to be refined. And then this real-time intent routing, again, hey, you know, I want someone to call me at exactly this time, or hey, can you chat me back in 30 minutes, or whatever meets the needs of the customers. That's also something we're not able to do, but all plenty of work to be done, and all things that we want to do. All right, let's talk metrics, or more appropriately, let's have Praveen talk about metrics. He's one of our go-to-market engineers that helps us with all of this. So Praveen, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. Hello, team. So yeah, you guys are looking at the facts. So this is like a head-on challenge between like VMF and PRBS, which is like understand broadly. So we have Sandra, who has taken like in last 30 days, like 798 calls, and like for those leads, and like 157 leads have got connected with Sandra. So a lot of people are like picking up the calls, and like they're giving us a lot of data to, you know, do some changes and make Sandra much better each and every day. And out of 157, we got like 52 booked, and which is like, you know, 19% of show up rate, where 10% of demo completed, and 10 of demo completed. And like at the end, you see that like lead to demo completion is like 1.2, which is pretty low. But still, like we are making sure that we are able to book more, so that we are also working on like quantity over quality, so that Ken will also talk about that later. Like currently what Sandra is doing is basically like booking a lot of leads, but eventually like some are SMBs. So we are basically, Sandra is working for Sammy in the back end. You know, that's how it's working. So but eventually like we are working on to make sure that we book a lot of ICP leads. So there is a lot of tuning going on for Sandra. And when it comes to Sammy has done for like, you know, 11% of connection rate, little less than like Sandra, but eventually like Sandra was the first one that came in, like, and we got Sammy onboarded later. So we are also doing some tweaks there. And the booking rate is also good, like 50% of booking rate, and like the show up rate is almost like 19 to 20%, and the completion rate is 1.6%, which is really, really good for Sammy in like very less time. So we are also making sure that the handoff that Ken was talking about is going to make more, you know, to come from Sandra to Sammy, where the lead flow is going to increase for Sammy, and also like more demos and conversions are going to increase. So that's what we are seeing right now. Okay, so now we are looking at AA chat SDR. So this data is just for the VMF, which is like Vendasta's Aurora. So we don't have insights for Mia because we are doing some tweaks on getting those insights, because we don't have a constant or like a basic default looker which has these data right now. But eventually, like we are building automations to kind of report on this. So that's why we don't have that data yet here. And this is Aurora and Vendesta's web chat. So we got like 151 leads and like 124 leads booked, which is like really good. And we also have like 78 demo completed, like it's like 63% and like 52% of lead to conversion. So that's really good. Like we are also doing the same thing to Mia. So Mia recently started, but eventually like we also have a lot of traffic going to iMapping website, which is powered by Broadly, but eventually like the Broadly website does not have much of a traffic. So we are also in work with like marketing team and other people to kind of make the traffic flow to the right place and also get another web chat SDR on the iMapping site, because that's also going to have some organic growth. So yeah, so that's about web chat. And yeah, I'll also talk about the team. So it's not just a one team work, actually, to be frank. Like we are collaborating with a lot of teams, and I would like to thank each and everybody. So because we have a call each and every day where all the team, all the people from who are working on this get on this before even our stand up. They come in and like we talk about the tuning, we talk about the feedback of whatever happened yesterday, and then like that's really, really valuable. And from the DevOps side, we are building the automations, building logic and routing and everything from the technical part. But from the sales side, like we have like Spencer, Megan jumping on this call every single day before their stand up, and then giving us feedback, tweaking the complete prompt with us, and like complete messaging system, like what context it has to go, should not go, and like all those things. So, and from the marketing side, like Shane also jumps in and like gives us like full support on driving this. Like as you guys see, 100% of leads from Vendesta like is going into Sandra right now. So it's like, and also we are having good bookings because we are having good leads. So yeah, without that we won't be able to get that. And from the cross team perspective, we also have like the PRBS operations team, a RevOps team who gets into it. And kudos to Kobe. So he's also the one of the greatest asset to actually help us to get this handoff happening from like Sandra to Sammy whenever there is a SMB comes in. So yeah.
Great. Thanks so much, Praveen. And yeah, I'll reiterate, thanks so much to the team, the whole team that's making this possible. There's a lot of people working on this, and having actually seeing this done, right? I talked to in the beginning what it is RevOps does to help break down those silos. This is a perfect example of how that happens. All right. So what have we learned so far? I mean, obviously you just saw the metrics, 52% conversion compared to 1.2 and 1.6% conversion. That's just amazing, right? And so a lot of that is intent. If someone's going to go to the trouble of finding our website and converse with the web chat, they obviously have a higher buying intent than someone who may just be responding to an ad that they saw on Facebook or something like that. So so that's part of it, but we are still looking at, hey, what can we glean, what can we learn from the web chat experience that maybe we can apply to the voice experience to get that voice conversion up higher. So there's definitely some learnings there, and we're teasing that apart to try and get that conversion up on the voice side. Next thing also should be pretty obvious, right? Multi-touch flows. The more ways that we touch these customers, whether it's combining voice with SMS or the web chat with SMS or web chat and voice and SMS, like the more ways we can combine that and touch the customer across multiple channels, the better the conversion rate is there. The next learning is, and this SMB ID validation was a key part of this, and we can't set it and forget it, right? We have to frequently review the calls that are happening on the AI SDR side and make sure that we understand, is it transferring at the right point? Is it asking the right questions? Are we getting the answers that we want? Is everything as tuned as possible to make this go? And things happen all the time, right? In terms of new terminology, or we put out a new ad campaign. And so we have to make sure to be constantly tuning this to make sure that we have it right. And then finally, we do have this human safety net. If we only have 2 touches and a few SMSs that are going, we have to be able to follow up afterwards and see, oh, hey, they're taking out these leads and disqualifying these leads, but this subset is actually really good. We want to make sure that we go back and tune those questions so that they do fall into the subset that's going to get qualified. And without that human safety net, you wouldn't necessarily know that. So having someone, doing the usual work on the human side to make sure that everything is going well on the AI side is another key learning. All right, in terms of what's next, so kind of 3 levels of the horizons that are coming up here. First up is obviously optimizing what we have existing now, getting those handovers really smooth between SMS and VMS or VMF and back and forth, making sure our accuracy is as great as possible, making sure we're focusing on the quality and constantly getting the right ICP. And that smart scheduling portion, right? Being able to get those calls from the AI SDR to happen when the customer wants them to happen. So that's whole one set of work. Another set of work is, all right, what have we learned from these motions, from the channel and the direct motion that we can apply elsewhere? So we have, for example, this isn't going for our franchisees where we have like a license to hunt within a franchisee network. It's not being applied there. So what can we learn and what can we apply for that subset of SMBs? Also, our product-led growth on Yesware. Hey, are there things that we have learned here that as people drop out of that self-serve motion, that we can then pick them up, use an AI SDR to pick them up and take them the rest of the way. So that's another part. And then the third part is just new AIs, right? So ones that we can deploy across more communication channels. So we have voice, we have web chat. Well, what about email? What about social media? What about et cetera, et cetera? Plug in the communication channel here, and that's those are AIs that we want to make sure to build. Getting a self sign-up funnel going, whether that's on the direct side or the channel side. Driving upgrades. So especially on the direct side, we have a whole lot of customers who are in that lowest tier, and having AI continue to ping that group to potentially upgrade. And then obviously more sales motions, right? We're just talking about SDRs here. So how can we apply our SDRs or our AI employees to retention, to expansion, to reselling, onboarding, all the different parts of the sales motion? There's so many different ways that we could potentially optimize and reduce that toil for our sales reps and let them focus on their superpower, right? Their superpower is not entering stuff into the CRM. It's not, getting a lead list, priority list down. Their superpower is actually selling, upselling our customers. So let's let them use that superpower as much as possible. And yeah, with that, we'll be able to grow really well. All right, so that's it for me. I will actually hand it off at this point to Jesse, who's going to give us a demo. Hopefully. Jesse, are you there?
Hello. All right, I'll be quick. I will share my screen to you guys in the booth here right away. All right, why am I up here? Well, I'm going to be up here too. That's really echoey. I'll put that back a little bit more. Oh, test. How's that? That sounds better.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Jesse, online.
Booth?
Yeah.
Test. Can you hear me now, Ken?
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, there we go. I am up here to talk about Vendasta Vibe. We have a lot of questions rolling around the company, and again, I've never had a product that I've been part of building have so many people asking exciting questions about it, which is kind of cool. So we have a go live date established, I think kind of in a beta release format for June 3rd. We're going to release this at the Partner Advisory Council. And I've got a couple of high-level things I wanted to take everybody through today, because you're going to have some changes for your projects in ABC, and you're going to help us test credit rollouts, credits, custom domains, and some fun building. And so to start with, I wanted to take everybody through a quick recap of what Vibe is today. You can build landing pages, You can build websites. You can build a React application that calls backends if you know how to do that, but you can't build a full stack application yet. So if you look at vTickets that Gabriel and the support team put together, it's probably the most advanced Vibe app we have today, and it's calling through to our CRM APIs because they knew all the tricks to be able to make that happen. And so I'm just going to take you through, rather than watch Vibe do its work, we're going to go through some pre-recorded examples here. So I built a template, a landing page. You can use the SSO connector that's there, so single sign-on, to build an auth login. This is for all of the users of the account you're building the Vibe project within. So all of the users in that account can SSO into what you've created. You can use the analytics connector. So on that SSO page, you can add any of the metrics that are available in the executive report or the multi-location business app area into your own Vibe Coda dashboard. And so I asked about a review ratings card, and then I've made some tweaks to the sign-in page. And so what that looks like here is on the sign-in page now, I've got an average 5-star review rating, the reviews breakdown, and recent reviews. And so we're going to work at better documentation of what are all the analytics you can actually embed onto this thing. So that's kind of what Vibe is today. So what's coming out this afternoon? Let's talk about that. So what's coming out this afternoon is the pro version of Vibe. So on the free version, which everybody has here, so in ABC, that's where everybody's still working for Vendasta, you're working with the trusted tester version of Vibe, AKA the free version. That's going to give 5 credits, AI credits to use daily. So we're not going to load everybody up on the free version to start with all 100 credits you get over the course of the month, but we're going to leak out 5 credits a day. And the goal there is to trap people into saying, oh man, I want more, I want to upgrade, right? And so to start with, you're going to have the pro version of Vibe is going to come with 100 AI credits. And then we're going to, what we have right now available is 100 add-on credits and a 200 add-on pack. And so that's what we're going to start with on ABC. So when you start using that, under the administration area of Business App, there's going to be a new credits area, and you're going to be able to see the credits that have been allotted, along with where credits are being used. And so as we're doing this, we're going to be able to start exploring how many credits are being used for a simple change or a complex change. How fast are we running out of credits? And so the next week, we're going to be doing some credit tuning up until the point of the advisory release. And so right now, like a simple change, it's probably going to be used like half a credit to 1 credit. A full generation that's going to build a custom app with databases, it's probably going to be 5 to 50 credits, depending on what we're actually building. And so we're going to be doing some tuning on this, but this is going to be enforced on everybody in Vendasta today. So when it says you're out of credits, you're going to have to upgrade. Where are those going to be shown? Well, if you're in ABC, we're going to have the self-upgrade workflow turned on, and you're going to see I upgraded to Pro and credits per month. And where do I see that? I will see that in ABC shortly. So this is on prod, and you're going to notice we're going to start locking down some of the features of Vibe as well. So I'm not going to be able to download the project on the free version. You're going to have to upgrade to Pro if you want to do the downloads. Ironically, you can't import yet. And then you're going to go into the upgrade workflow. And again, this is all still work in flight, so it's subject to change. The upgrade button and the publishing button are going to be available. What's under the publishing button that's going to be new this afternoon? You're going to be able to add and test custom domains. And so a custom domain piece will require you to have access to the DNS settings of the domain you want to point. You're going to do through an ownership claim check and a verification process. I'm not going to demo that today. I'm going to leave it in the hands of this room to try testing when we get into it. And then we're going to get into the fun part. This is the surprising piece. So starting today, Vendasta Vibe is going to be able to allow you to bring your own backend. So what does that mean? Supabase is going to be added to ABC as an introductory backend. And let's talk a little bit about what Supabase is before we go into how that works. So Supabase they're basically a Postgres development platform. They're the same technology company that's powering Lovable Cloud. Lovable is, again, a core competitor that I'm following through in terms of how do I make Vibe, or how do we make Vibe as good as Lovable is already establishing in the marketplace. And this is the product that they use to power their backend. So what does it do? It allows us to bring a database. It allows you to bring your own auth system. So you could build an application for your customers that they could log into. It has storage buckets. It's got backend secret management. and it's got serverless functions. And so what's a serverless function? Oh dear God, oh dear God. That allows us to build a back end for your application now. So a serverless function could have the right auth put on it, so it can maybe call a CRM API, or it can maybe call a Firecrawl API to do web scraping for us, right? So it's going to allow us to build full stack applications. So in this example, we're going to have Supabase available under the integrations area of Business App. So if you click into it, you're going to have to go through an authentication piece. So from Supabase right now, you're going to need to grab, and again, the Supabase version is free, so we can all sign up to the free account. And this is going to be the thing in the future. We probably have Vendasta Cloud that we actually sell as a marketplace product or something, right? Vendasta Cloud would wrap this as our own, and there's probably some markup on it. But for now, we're going to bring your own database and bring your own Supabase, no different than what Lovable, Replit, Base44, all of these companies are just building on top of Supabase because it allows for rapid application development. So inside of here, what's inside of it? Well, I've got a database. And by turning on the Supabase connector, I will now have another connector available within Vibe for me. So where does that go? Well, that's going to go into this area. So I can go to connectors, and then I'm going to be able to turn on Supabase. Notice the fun translation that's currently missing, but we'll fix that later. And so in this example, what I've done is I said using Supabase, so that's the hint again that we're going to give to say, hey, he must mean the Supabase MCP that's connected to this project. I want to build a new app that requires Supabase sign-in. They should receive a validation email. Existing users should be able to sign in, and I want to upload expenses. And so with one prompt, all of a sudden, I have built an expense tracking application that allows me to upload the expenses that I need to give Dale every month for my Claude Max subscription, and I'm going to record that. I could then, if I wanted to publish this app, I could publish it to Rylan, and Rylan could then sign up and log into it, and he would get a verification email using two-step login. And so all of this, though, again, is again, you can see there's a little bug in the middle of it, but again, with a couple of prompts, I have now built a completely bespoke custom application that is powered by the Vendasta software. Now, one of the questions that I know will be asked is, why aren't you using the CRM? Well, our APIs at Vendasta require a different layer of auth to connect to it. And so I foresee a world in the future where I will have another connector here, and it will be Vendasta CRM. And so maybe we could talk to Vibe to say, I want to build a ticket for my company. Using the Vendasta CRM, I would like to build an app that replaces Zendesk for doing tickets. Now let's look at hybrid crossover. Let's say I'm working with a roofing company, and this is going to be one of our demo apps that's coming out at the Vendasta. I don't have it available today, but it's going to be one that we're going to think about building for the advisory council. And so I'm working with a roofing company. The roofing company is they're sick of Jobber or Service Titan, and they want to build their own quoting system. And so what does that mean? Well, I want to have a form where anybody can ask for a quote. I can submit my address. I want to be able to track said quote, and I would probably want to inject that lead into my CRM, right? So a couple of choices now. You could use a Vendasta form for doing it. I could use this open application, but I'm kind of interested in this open application powered by Supabase, so I could actually build a full end-to-end quoting system, and the side effect of that quoting system is just to yield into the Vendasta CRM connector that isn't available yet, but I think that's where it's going. And so in closing here, I'll bounce back to my app. What this is going to unlock this afternoon is credits tracking. I'm going to say it again. Custom domains for playing. And then the back-end application powered by Supabase, where if we're using rabbit groomers, I'll probably connect the test account I created. But again, rather than using rabbit groomers, I would encourage each of you on ABC, in terms of the partner ABC, to create your own account, activate your own instance of Vendasta Vibe, and then you can sign up with your own version and get a free version of Supabase and go through the connection process, because each of you can help test and finalize this as we're going into the last week before the advisory council. So I'll say it again, don't use rabbit groomers, create your own account, sign up if you want to build your own backend with Supabase, Let's add a custom domain if you want to, and then help us tune the credits. And so that's all coming out. Hit up the Vendasta Vibe channel. If you have questions, concerns, you find a bug, and we'll test this over the course of the next week together. So thank you, everybody, and excited for your feedback.
Awesome. So I think now we have that special present for those present.
Did Jesse leave this on? He did. Ken's not here in person to bartend today, obviously, but we are going to move happy hour down to the patio today, just FYI, because it's finally nice and sunny out. So let's enjoy it. So hopefully we'll see you all there. Yeah, that's it. Let's go. Let's draw.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Ken. All right. The winning ticket is 02906506. Oh, John! John deserves it for all the work he does at All Hands every week. Happy Friday.